Let's start off with the Josh show, yeah, because Benji's well aware of the Josh show.
Oh, God.
I know. So the Josh show, and I need to put that in the title too, so I can change that. This is really frustrating. This is something we were going to talk about. I ranted on YouNow about this a couple of days ago. It was early in the morning. I was like, I don't care if it's early. I haven't brushed my teeth. I always look a mess. Fuck it, I'm going to talk. So here's what happened. Okay, so the Josh is like kind of becoming in the YouTube community known as being like a ladder climber and a little bit slimy. And let me tell you some stuff that's happened. So at first, like, you know, he was this, like, from my perspective, this new YouTuber, and he had okay content. You know, I was like, all right, he's all right. So, but he came at me and he wanted to sponsor me for like $100. And as you guys know, I've never done sponsors. Like, anytime I've shouted people out, it's just because I fucking want to. Like, there's nothing behind it. It's just because, like, that's what I felt to do. So I've had businesses, I've had people come at me. I always politely decline. To me, if I can't 1,000% put my name behind it, I will not recommend it. So I told the Josh, well, I'm not sure. And I remember I talked to a few people, and I hope this is okay, Benji. Yell at me if it's not. I talked to Benji about it. And Benji was like, look, he's like, I don't get a very good feeling, and started telling me some stuff I hadn't seen. And then other people did too. And I was like, okay, yeah, I think you might be right. And he was like, and Benji's like, just be careful. And I was like, okay. So then we had a live stream. Benji, I think it was on your channel, and I think it was on somebody's channel. I think it was yours, Benji. And I think it was when my channel got shut down for like strikes and stuff. And so the Josh went off on Benji. It was really weird. And that's when I was like, okay, I'm not okay with this. Tim?
I'm going through the messages now. I'm not going to obviously read out the DMs and everything like that, but
right.
At least I wouldn't generally do that anyway. But sure. I'm looking through it, and it seems like sarcasm when he was going off, but at the same time, it really depends on how you look at it, really.
Right.
I think he kind of just continued and continued and continued and continued. Like the initial interaction between the two of us was me getting a message from him wanting to talk about a YouTuber that's generally pretty disliked. And where is it? I'm just reading out my own message. Yeah, okay, well, that's nothing. There's no issues with that. He wanted me to do a video with him in regards to Onision. I declined. Where is it? What do you have in mind in regards to Onision? To the Onion, sorry. Before you explain, please be aware that I personally am not one to hate on someone for default reasons, unless he's done something that definitively breaks the law, that could affect people I care about, and that could affect me personally. If they've done something, if they've said something stupid, I'll call out their bullshit, but I generally won't go further unless the aforementioned things come into play. It's not damning or anything like that. It's literally just a very general response of me declining, really. He then went on with the messages, which I'm not going to talk about. But yeah, I just kind of stopped contacting him because he kind of just kept going because I had a few things going on in real life, and he sent a couple of lengthy messages, and then trying to talk to me about some other YouTuber, and I was like, who is that person? I don't know who that person is. And it was related to Daddy05 situation. I didn't know the whole thing in its entirety, and more information was passed on to me from him. But yeah, then I kind of just stopped contacting him because I just started getting this weird vibe from him that he was really just wanting to have someone on his stream that possibly was on that ladder status, essentially. So he wasn't really cracking the shits at me. It was more just the fact of him pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. And I was like, look, dude, you know, I'm not someone who really wants to really be involved in that sort of stuff, like pushing out the drama. If someone does something dumb that is illegal or something that is in really poor taste, I'll call out that poor taste bullshit. But if it's something illegal, I'll go into full-on investigatory mode and deal with it from there. I generally don't like to get other people involved when I do stuff like my documentaries. It's just a general thing. Then it would probably be because they have a personal relationship with the person who's being I'm being directly critical about in regard. I don't know if anyone's even seen my stuff. So if you have, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, then it might be a little bit confusing as to what I'm even saying right now, or maybe I'm just contradicting myself and going around in circles and whatnot, because I do seem a little bit tired today. It has been a hectic last few days. Was I clear just then? Do I need to clear anything up? My bad.
I realized I've now been trying to talk to you for like a minute, only to figure out I'm muted. I'm smart. No, Benji, don't apologize. I think, don't worry. I think you got your point across, and I get it. You're tired, and that's okay. It is appreciated that you did tell us about that, though, because we don't know how not all of us know how he interacts with certain people in the DMs, so it's a bit nicer to see how he is. So thank you for that.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you, Benji. And sorry if I didn't explain stuff well on your end. This was a while ago, and my memory is fucking stellar, as we all know. So I appreciate.
I had to go through the DMs myself just to sort of clarify that, because I think at the time my my mindset was very on peak, essentially. Like I kept on thinking things a little too much, like thinking into things a little too much, and it just maybe I was overthinking it in a negative way rather than actually looking at it in a way of, okay, this guy just wants to climb the ladder, like just like everyone else. But
no, and I get it. And you and I at that time, I know you were getting some harassment as well. So I think the other end of it was, I think, and your channel had just grown a lot. So I know that your headspace was probably almost very protective of yourself, which makes perfect sense. But your instincts were correct, and I'll tell you what happened. So here's what made me so mad. The Josh, as of late, has done some pretty shady stuff that I saw, but I was really private about. I wasn't going to say.
Yeah.
But there were a few things. One was that when I had the issues with Repsion, he kept trying to go in public and be like, quit fighting, guys, and acting like children. You guys need to get along and go for the greater cause, which was Onision. And I'm just like, I'm not fighting anybody. Like, I haven't done shit to Repsion. He's being a prick to me. But to back up, he wanted to sponsor me. This was a while before. And I think this was right as he was doing his Onision videos. I'll tell you what I think happened. I noticed a lot of people, when they saw how big I got, they thought that there was some style I was doing or some method, so they tried to copy it. And I'm like, there's no method to this. I just talked about things I was passionate about, whether they got views or not. Like, there's no system to this. But he was one I think. Oh, sorry, Benji?
I think a lot of people tried to do that, tried to copy the method, or, obviously tried to, try to copy the similar style that you had, but it's not really about style. It's about the passion and everything. It's about whatever it is that you've got on your mind, you just blurt it out the best way you can. That's why I don't use a script for any of my videos. I just get it all out there, and people like it. If they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. Cool beans, whatever. Each to their own.
Same. And guys, even when I had videos that would hit 100,000 views, I might have a video the next day that would get 5,000 or 3,000. Like, to me, it was just about what I felt to talk about. Of course, on YouTube, I'm not going to lie, it's always fun to get attention and to get praise or any accolade, but that wasn't the goal for me. Like, that was never the goal. If it had been, if climbing the ladder was the goal, then I would have done things much, even though I did really well, there were other topics I could have and would have jumped on that would have, really done, I could have doubled or tripled what I was doing, but I had no interest in following some of the petty dramas and makeup tutorials and shit. Like, I had no interest. I still don't. But, I went after stuff I thought was important to talk about or something that interested me. So anyway, he was like, you have such a loyal audience and it's such a good target demographic. And I was thinking, I'm like, I get what you're saying because I'm from the marketing, advertising, sales, business world. But even though, like, I to an extent you use those skills when you come on here, the people that watch me, I care about. I don't look at them as fucking consumers. Like, these are real people who have issues and have feelings and And, you know, they expect a certain amount of integrity from me, which I'm not always perfect about, but I'm not just going to give you access to these people to siphon off just because you're giving me $100. So I politely declined. Well, then the motherfucker, I was so mad. He came on a live stream and donated $100. And I was just like, fuck. And then people are like, he's like, let me on. People are like, well, let him on. He gave you $100. You can at least let him on. And I'm like, now I feel like I'm cornered to. So I did. And he talked about his Onision videos. I'm like, okay, yeah, if you guys want to go see him, go see him. And that was it. So, so what else happened? So when the Repsion stuff was happening, he would tell me in private, Repsion's being a dick and blah, blah, blah. And then in public would like laugh alongside a Repsion, spreading rumors that I have STDs and herpes and shit. It was horrible. And I was like, what are you doing? And then he tried to insert himself into a situation nobody invited him into. He got us into a group DM on Twitter, and he was like, guys, we need to work this out. You guys are, you know, and he said this again, like, you guys are behaving like children. We need to all get together for the common goal, which is Onision. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, bitch, none of us have a common goal with Onision. You have your own goal. I spoke about things when he was doing awful stuff or things that I found interesting. I didn't have this like goal of like, let's get Onision. It was just, if he's doing shitty things, I'm going to say something. It wasn't, there's no, you know, there's no systematic plan of attack. And even though I don't like Repsion, you know, Repsion doesn't say much about Onision. And at that point, Repsion, as we now know, was emailing, trying to work with Onision to take me down. So like, it was really funny. It's like, why are you inserting yourself into this? So we both left the group chat really quickly.
Yeah. Well, there's going to be obviously people who are going to, I don't know, view things in certain ways. Everyone's obviously going to have their own perspective of and how they take things that people say. And normally, you know, if you word things appropriately and be a little bit more careful about how add this and that, people might take what your words are and be like, okay, that is exactly what it sounds like. That's what I wanted to hear, blah, 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 blah. But then if you say things out of pure passion without really obviously scripting it or thinking about it or whatever, people can obviously take those words and think, because obviously when you're in a moment of passion, you're just going on a tangent. Sometimes you just don't say things that may or may not even make sense because you're just ranting.
Right.
And I've done the same thing in my own videos. You know, like I'm sure if you scout around, you'll be able to find errors here and there all the time. But in this particular case, I think that the biggest disconnect between the audience and the content creators themselves are that not everything is in the public eye. As much as they think it is, it's not. And I think that's one thing that most audience members really kind of need to remember, is that not everything's going to be in the public eye. Like, you discuss things in the DMs, you discuss things privately, you know, groups and so on. And if you deal with things in the public eye, people are going to take all that and then they're going to try their best to formulate some scenario or they're going to try and find a resolve or find the answers that they're looking for. And they may not find the right ones, but it's all they can find. And so therefore it's, to them, maybe the right one because they can't find anything else. And so what else is there, without really considering the fact that stuff can be discussed away from what you see right in front of you or hear right in front of you.
Nope, I completely agree. Completely agree with that. So here's what's happened, guys. The Josh was like, then he started coming, and he would do that, and then I would call him out, and I'm not going to go over every DM. I am going to go over a few because I think it's important, and typically I don't like doing this kind of thing unless it's important. But so he would he would just act really shady publicly to me, and then come at me privately and act like we're buddies, and I called him out. And a lot of times he would be really rude to me back. Like, there was a lot of what felt like gaslighting, and I'm like, I ain't about this. So I'm not going to say any names, but I have some friends that, and I don't want to say too much, but that he went after, and there was some doxing issues, which I was not happy about. But I just didn't, you know, I kind of tried to stay out of it and just be supportive to my friends. So we had not a good exchange the last time we spoke. Now, I will say this. In the process, he was really big on, don't delete your channel. This is when I want to delete my channel. So at one point, when I really wanted to delete my channel, he was like, don't delete it. So he kept saying, call me. We can turn this around. And I thought, all right, because I'm trying to give you guys the whole rundown as I remember it. So we did a Skype call, and he was like, you got to leave yourself out of the drama. You have to just focus on reporting on other dramas. And I'm like, but I'm not somebody that just reports on drama. Like, I report on things I like. Well, find other dramas. And I'm just like, that's not what I do. So, and I had to explain to him, I'm like, you don't understand the harassment. He's like, you keep responding to it. I'm like, you don't get it. I'll be gone for 2 or 3 months and it still happens. You don't understand. This is not just regular trolling and hating. This is very different. But, you know, he was nice to have the conversation. He offered to help. And I was like, okay. So it's weird because sometimes he would be nice and offer to help and then turn around and be shady. Then he'd turn around and he'd make jabs at me and poke fun at me. Like he would talk about me and put me in a tinfoil hat in his video and then be like, well, what do you think of the video? Hope it's okay. And I'm like, you're being an ass. So it was this really weird back and forth where it was like, I feel like he wanted to keep me in his back pocket because my audience to be friendly with me enough just to be able to turn around and use me when he needed to. That's what it seemed like to me. And I was like, all right. So after all of this, after he mocks me publicly with Repsion, oh, it's so funny. Let's spread rumors I have fucking herpes. That's so funny, right? He then, okay, check this out. I was so fucking mad. Now, Warski and I talked later that day, but Warski and I wasn't on good terms with him. Where it's a little bit better, I'll tell you guys, because we did talk. We'll go into that in a second. But we weren't on very good terms. Yes, I have my DMs open to him, but I'm not the kind of person with bigger YouTubers. I don't bother you. You know, I know what it's like. I never consider myself a bigger YouTuber, but I know what it's like when you constantly get inundated by people. And it's not, I love y'all that message me, so no disrespect. But I know with him, whatever it is for me, it's how many times worse the people bothering him. So unless it's important, I leave people alone, right? So here, and by the way, I'm also not going to give people's information out. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that sort of thing. So like if I have a DM, you know, I have DMs with some really big YouTubers I don't talk about. Why would I? So check this out.
Yeah.
I'm going to read this off now. He sent me some messages. I was so irritated. Hold on just a second. We're going to go.
Hello, by the way. How's everyone doing?
Hey, Nexo, what's cracking?
Hi, Nexo.
Hi, Cutie Pie. I miss you.
I kind of missed the start of the stream. So what's happening?
Well, fuck you, Nexo. Go back and listen, and then come back when you're ready.
Nexo?
Well, that's why I didn't jump on straight away. I wanted to have a little listen, but I don't feel like I caught the grasp of the whole thing.
Okay, so there's a YouTuber by the name of The Josh Show, and he obviously reports on drama here and there on the YouTube platform. As far as we can tell, it seems to be pretty much stuck to the YouTube platform.
Okay.
It's a good niche. It's a popular niche at the moment, especially for what's happening on YouTube at the moment. A lot of stuff to cover.
Right. The Keemstar genre.
That's it. No, he is. It is. It's that stupid drama stuff like that I have no fucking interest in. So there's.
Oh, sorry.
Benji, you finish. God, go.
So basically, there's a few people, not just us, who are a little curious about the Josh Show in various ways. I still don't know whether or not I even really want to talk to him, communicate with him, or anything like that. One point on Twitter, and then after my contact with him ceased, he unfollowed me from Twitter. Obviously, people who you're not really interested in, maybe you just want to unfollow them because you're not interacting with them anymore and you kind of just lost interest. Fair enough. I'm just trying to give him the benefit of the doubt here and playing devil's advocate in regards to this whole situation. I don't really know where this whole situation is going, to be honest, but for me personally, I'm still on the fence, but more so leaning towards the negative, just from what I've heard floating around. And I don't really want to blow any smoke up anyone's ass or anything like that with misinformation, but it's only from what I have heard. I don't have anything definitive or anything concrete as of yet. I mean, I have had a few things, and that's what's had me lean toward the negative. But it's not enough for me to be like, fuck that guy. Fuck that guy, you know? So maybe in time that will change. I hope it doesn't. I want more positive people out there, more people who, you know, you guys know how I think. So I'm not going to go on that tangent again.